corner! I'll film it, I got it. Yeah, go.
The Vikings were daring masters of the sea. Their swift wooden longships, equipped with both sails and oars, enabled them to mount raids on the coastal monasteries and settlements of the British Isles and beyond. The shallow draft of these ships meant that they were able to reach far inland by river and stream, striking and moving on before local forces could muster. Actual sea battles were rare. Most were fought close to shore. Ships were roped together in lines to face enemy fleets. Showers of arrows and spears would have been exchanged, and each side would have then resorted to hand-to-hand combat as they attempted to board their opponent's ship. The warriors in the prow were specially selected for this task. Their aim was not to destroy the enemy craft, but to capture them if possible, as this represented a considerable investment in time, resources, and labor. Before the end of the 11th century, Vikings fought mainly on foot. Their forces were small and they had no real cavalry. Sources do report horses occasionally being used by Viking leaders in battle, but they more usually served them as transportation to the battlefield. The main offensive weapons of the Vikings were the spears, swords, and battle axe, although bows and arrows were also used. Weapons were not just carried into battle, but were also used as symbols of status and wealth. They were finely decorated with twisted wire, silver, and copper and bronze. Long-handled battle axes might have been used instead of swords, particularly in open combat. The famed double-handed broadaxe is a late development, typically of the late 10th and 11th centuries. The owner could not hold a shield at the same time as holding his battle axe. He would have to take cover behind the front line of warriors, rushing out at the right moment to hew down the enemy. The Vikings had no professional standing army. Their tactics and discipline seemed to have been fairly basic, but did not fight in regular formation. Their elders were defended by close bodyguards. The older veterans formed up in support behind them. The battle began by throwing spears over the enemy lines to dedicate them to Odin. This was followed by a shower of spears and arrows. Each side would then attempt to break through and crush their opposition, capturing and killing their leader if possible. The best way to achieve this was forming a wedge of 20 to 30 warriors, with its point towards the enemy line, and this was known as the bear formation, and then charge, hoping to break through by weight of numbers. Berserkers believed that Odin, the god of war, gave them both protection and superhuman powers, so they had no need for armor. They would work themselves into a battle frenzy so intense that it said that they bit on the edges of their shield and could even ignore the pains of wounds.